Namaste. Welcome back to Mindful Surrender Yoga, or Waking Up in a Busy World. And we're going to continue answering questions from the jar. I'm going to pull out a question, a spiritual type of question, and try to answer it within a 10-minute time frame. Again, I'm going to reiterate that I am no expert. I am just a learner, and I learn through my teaching, and I teach through my learning. That's how it works for me. So I have these questions collected from questions that were asked to me, questions I heard asked to other people, from random researchers on the net regarding spiritual questions. So anyway, there's a whole compilation of questions in this jar, and I'm not sure which one I will pick out, but I know for sure it'll have something to do with a practice related to becoming a better person, which I would call a spiritual practice, but I'm very careful with the word spiritual. Anyway, I am going to set my timer. Oh, I had it here and I lost it again. You can just be patient with me for one moment. And I am going to start it. Pull a question from the jar. I'm going to reach down very low, very deeply. Oh, okay, I think I have one. Sometimes questions get put back into the jar that I've already done, so. What can we do to get Shakti to flow better? The question is, what can we do to get Shakti to flow better? I'm going to take a deep breath. And then I'm going to exhale. Now, I know I answered a question on Shakti, but I don't think it was this one. So I'm going to go ahead and answer it again if it is. Shakti, of course, is our eternal energy source. It is that river that flows within us, as Yogananda said. A river of bliss, a river of joy, a river of peace, a river of love, a river of compassion, a river of all the wholesome seeds, the wholesomeness of what we're trying to create with our seeds in star consciousness. So it's the best world. It's the best experience that we can have here as human beings. It's a free-flowing Shakti. We all have it within us. As the Buddha was quoted as saying a number of times, we have all we need, all the conditions we need for happiness within us. And this flow is there, and it is where happiness comes from. So how can we get this sense of well-being, this sense of peace, this sense of joy, this sense of love, this unconditional sense of peace, joy, and love? From how we get it, keep it flowing within us. Well, the first thing we need to do is be aware of what that Shakti is, that flow of life, that consciousness, that higher sense of being that many of us have forgotten all about or are totally unaware that we have inside us. We need to know what it is. We need to trust that it's within us, and we need to remove blockages. So let's first of all talk about Shakti. Talk about the flow that was in us. It's who we are. It is everything beneath what little me describes as itself. So beneath these psyches, which are merely accumulation of memory, accumulation of life experiences, and make up the psyche, make up this little idea of me with all my likes and dislikes. Beneath that, and the roles I play, whether I'm a nurse or a doctor or a teacher or a plumber or a carpenter, beneath my identification with certain relationships, my maternal role, my friend role, my spousal role, beneath all these beliefs I have created or stored over the years about who I am and about what the world is all about and what's really important and this is the way it works and whatnot, beneath all this conceptual knowledge I may have collected as well, is the Shakti, is this free-flowing sense of wellness. Most of us are saying that we don't spend much time during our day feeling well, feeling or tapping into that sense of well-being. We often feel very much that our happiness is conditional. Conditional based on what? On what is happening out there in the external world. When we identify as this little me, as this ego, we take on this belief or this idea that we are separate entities in a world from which we need to protect ourselves and a world from which we need to try to control and manipulate so it suits this little me. Because this little me, like I said, because of past experiences, has developed a sense of what it likes and doesn't like. It wants to repeat what it likes and go after that. And it wants to avoid what it doesn't like and run away or escape from that. So this little me with these tendencies has stored past experiences within it as impressions, or as Natasha referred to them, mental modifications. It has determined what will make it happy and what will make it not so happy. It knows in a sense that it's not okay inside, and it's doing whatever it can to create and maintain a sense of okayness. Because the little me can't be okay. The little me can never have its needs met because its needs are too many. And what it's longing for is it's not eternal, it's not timeless, it changes, it fluctuates, it comes, it goes, it dies, it rusts, we lose it. That's what it's assuming that it needs in order to feel okay inside. But at the same time, these things we can't hold on to. We can't grasp and cling to them forever because, like all phenomena in this material world, they do not last. So little me is pretty much screwed with this ideation and the tendencies that it has. So it creates what's known as problems or samskaras, stored energy patterns around a situation that may have deemed as unpleasant and said, okay, you're going to store this over here in the not fun cabinet. And then when we have an experience that it felt okay inside or made the little me feel okay inside, say, for example, meeting someone who we term as our soulmate, we'll take that experience and we'll store it in the fun experiences. And we're constantly seeking to build up the filing cabinet that says fun, and to keep that filing cabinet locked that says not fun. When we suppress, we don't push away, we push down inside that filing cabinet. So many of us have these filing cabinets that are overflowing in the not fun department. They're disorganized and they're random, and things come along in the outside world that tap into them and creating pain and more suffering, and they start to come out of the filing cabinets, and then we have to deal with them, and it's painful and it's awful, so we try to squeeze them back in and shut the door real quick. At the same time, we're grasping for these things over here that we want to repeat and put into our filing cabinets to store for later. And that's such exhausting work that we do. But the more we have in our filing cabinet, the more samskaras we have, the more blockages we have that don't stop the flow from going, but stop our awareness of the Shakti flow, our ability to go with that flow. We're so focused on our filing cabinets and what we have in them and what's going on in the outside world that might disturb one or make one better, that we do not feel the Shakti. We do not tap into that flow that was in us. We're still out there looking for what the Shakti can give us, what the Shakti is giving us, what is in the Shakti already, to make us okay inside. So if we are constantly blocking the Shakti flow, we're not going to feel those feelings. We're not going to feel that sense of love and well-being, that sense of happiness and peace. We're going to be stressed because seeking out there to keep everything from going where it's supposed to go in here, or if we're not disrupting the sense of pretend okayness we may have established inside. If we're doing that, that is very stressful work. We're constantly stressed, we're constantly busy, we're constantly disturbed by what life unfolds in front of us, instead of just allowing Shakti to flow. If we could take our attention away from what's going on out there and our need for it and our desire for it, our aversion for other things, and instead just lean back, first of all, accept what's going on out there, knowing that it cannot affect us if our Shakti is flowing, to sit back, relax into the face of adversity, allow what's happening to happen, outside and allow what's happening inside to happen. So say this filing cabinet of the not fun stuff, it's all becoming a mess and the cabinet doors open and the files are flying everywhere. They're doing that because the flow is meant to take them up and out. All experiences we encounter in life are meant to flow in and then flow out. But when we stuff them in these filing cabinets for later use, we are not allowing them to flow out. When we resist, these things persist, they grow inside us, our filing cabinets gets bigger, and we're blocking that flow of free-flowing Shakti. So we need to, first of all, know that there is a Shakti flow within us. Then we need to know that we've blocked that Shakti flow. We, not life, but we block the Shakti flow. Whatever life gives us, there's nothing good or bad about what life gives us. It's our reaction to it that causes the stuffing and the filing and the aversion and the wanting and the desiring. So we need to recognize what the mind does with these external events that we encounter. At the same time, we recognize that our Shakti is within us. Then we simply need to relax, let go of whatever is coming in and out, and lean back into that flow. Just lean back into the seat of self. Lean back into who we really are. When we sit back there, we witness the little me going about its business, collecting and pushing away and living what it thinks is the entire life. We witness it, but we don't got to get lost in it. We don't got to be so focused on it that we begin to believe that we are that little me. When we're laying back into the flow of Shakti, we realize that we are not the little me with all its problems, its desires, and aversions. We are the flow of life itself. And we lean back and allow life to keep us going as we experience that flow through us into the world. Well, that's all I have to say about that. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.